Welcome to The Good Ride. I'm James Beastie, and I'm here to set the expectation level just like I did with my wife years ago, so no one gets disappointed. It's time to talk about the 2026 Good Ride Freeride favorites. Say that 5 times fast. To give you a little my background, I've ridden close to 900 different model snowboards and a lot more if you count the different versions of the same model over the years. I'm an average rider, but with a solid snowboard gear memory, and I extensively test and compare boards on a level that no one else does. So you're gonna wanna check out this list. And if you know the Good Ride, then you know this is no pay-to-play favorites list. These boards got here only by how they ride, and that's it. I don't even require to keep these boards, and I can do this thanks to this excellent audience here, and also thanks to our sponsor, Blauer Board Shop. They've been selling to snowboarders before resorts allowed snowboarders. So if you want to support an amazing shop and honest, objective reviews, click through our links to Blauer Board Shop and buy something. It would be greatly appreciated. So Freeride is a pretty loose term, but I define it as a board that has a stiffer flex, more taper, and setback on board than an all-mountain board. However, it has less taper and less setback on board than an alternative freeride board. These are great boards for those that like big mountain riding, want solid float and powder, and love a more directional turn than an all-mountain board. One thing though, there aren't many beginner-friendly freeride boards, so check out all mountain boards if you're just starting out. If you want to know more about how we categorize boards, check our detailed breakdown at thegoodride.com. And if your board didn't make this list, it's fine, and it can still be your favorite. If you want to know why, go to the snowboard reviews page at thegoodride.com and check out the review there. If it's not there, leave a comment for me to review it, and I'll do my best to get on it. So first up on the list is the Stranda Descender Evolution. I just call it the Evo, which works for mostly advanced to expert riders. It's replaced the regular Descender as a favorite because it has a faster base. It's more damp. It has more pop, but none of the usual side effects that high-end boards can often have. It's just a better all-around ride. This is more than just a bomber big mountain board because it can also make a wide variety of turns. It has solid grip, the fastest base on this list, and it's an amazing balance between having great pop and amazing dampness. You can ride this centered for big air, but also set it back for easier directional float. And it also has one of the narrowest stance widths on this list. This board definitely charges, but unlike many boards with this stiff flex, it can actually chill out and cruise too. Next up is the completely redesigned Nidecker Megalight that works well for advanced to expert riders. It has much more camber and a new form of ultralight construction that somehow is way less chattery and bucky than the older model. This combo makes it a much better all-around ride than it was before, with a much more springy turn and ollie. It's got more taper than most of the boards on this list, and when on reference, it feels more like a big mountain board. Then, when you set it all the way back, it feels more like a slashy, turny, alternative freeride board, with arguably the second best float on this list. The only thing I don't like is the setback inserts are wider than the reference stance, and it needs more back foot weight carving on groomers. Other than that, it's an amazing directional one-board quiver for those that have full-size disc bindings. And good news for next season, there will be more sizes available. Next up is the Burton Counterbalance that's good for committed intermediates on up to experts. It's a really balanced directional one-board quiver with a much larger disruption near the back foot that gives it more grip than most Burton boards. Burton always has an exceptional flex personality that's poppy, but not ultra bucky, and the Counterbalance holds true to that reputation. It's a great directional daily driver for those that love Burton, but want more edge hold. It's one of the better boards on this list if you occasionally ride switch, but still want more directional float than most all mountain boards out there. I just had a blast on this, and I think a lot of people will as well. I just hope Burton keeps this longer than a season or two. Next up is the Weston Gnarnia or Gnarnia that's good with committed intermediates on up to experts. It's replacing the Ridgeline and it's very similar, but there's something extra they put under the hood that makes me like this more. It has a very classic big mountain shape with enough setback for easier float in moderate to steep conditions, but it's not a great low angle powder board. It does have a fast base, competent grip, and a damp feel that doesn't suppress the pop. It also has a very durable top sheet, and even though I ride a more low angle mountain these days here at Mount Bachelor, I still have a good time on it. But if I was living in Tahoe or Mammoth, I would absolutely love this ride for those bluebird days when the top is open. Next up is the United Shapes Cadet, and Cadet Limited if you can find it, with a faster base. This is good for intermediates on up to experts. These Cadets are my personal favorite on this list because it's the closest you can get to buying two boards for the price of one. It has a pretty centered feel on reference and really good spring out of the turn. It can even ride switch okay. This board can cruise or go hard, and it's not a bad board in steeper big mountain lines by any means. Then on a deep POW day, those setback inserts give you more directional float than any of its peers on this list, except maybe the Megalight, but it has a narrower stance width, so I like it better. That's really special, and it's almost there with a dedicated POW ride. And other than wanting a little more grip on hard snow days, I feel like I'm compromising the least with this board, and if one of their sizes fits your specs, it's definitely worth a look. Next up is the Ones+Flagship+Pro, which is more for advanced to expert riders. The Flagship Pro doesn't have a lot of camber or a lot of spring out of the turn, and the stance range is massively wide. Despite all that, it's on this list because it's super stiff and damp, yet very forgiving with an easy turn to it, especially in tight spots. It also grips well and has easy float and POW thanks to all the rocker and spoon tech before the nose. The setback inserts also help too if you can use them. If you love to go straight but don't want a one-dimensional go straight all the time kind of ride, this is your board. And if you want a more mellow version of this with more sizing options, check out the regular Flagship, which is an honorary favorite as well. Next up is the Amplid Souly Grail. This is more for committed intermediates on up to experts. This made the list because this is one of the dampest, most chatter-resistant boards on this list for this almost medium flex. And it doesn't seem to compromise much pop to make all this chatter resistance happen. For 2026, they upgraded the dampening technology, and from my understanding, it's a little lighter than last year without any less chatter absorption, and that's how it felt on snow to me as well. And while it doesn't have the best setback, easy directional float, it's just such a fun, turning, great all-day ride that I kept finding excuses to keep testing it. It also has lifted sides in the nose that stay completely out of the effective edge, so you never get any washy feel on groomers, and you can drive really hard off your front foot, but you do get a great turning experience in softer snow and powder. So if you love a dynamic, easy flex, but see a lot of uneven snow, this is your ride. Now let's talk about some of the hard snow favorites. First up is the Libtech Son of Birdman, which is good for intermediates on up to experts. Now it does have a thirsty base, but that's my only complaint about this SOB. This is far from just being an excellent hard snow board because it also floats like a champ. It's a pretty forgiving ride with a good bit of rocker, but with enough camber and pop to be really fun for an ollie or a turn. This is also more on the mid-wide side, but it's still doable for regular footers like me that want more of a floaty, cruisy ride. I really liked the way the SOB's flex personality, slightly deeper side cut, and camber profile all work together to create a really fun turning experience that I didn't have to dial back at all in harder snow. So this is a great ride for those that truly see all conditions and love to wax their board a lot, or are down for a phantom wax treatment. Now, another hard snow favorite is the LibTech Ejack knife, which is good for advanced expert riders. The Ejack knife doesn't have the easiest float and powder or the fastest base compared to most of the boards on this list, but man, it's a grippy, lively ride. The stability of this mostly camber profile with a somewhat mellow but really effective side cut disruption makes this an excellent hard snow ride. It also doesn't grab too much in soft snow. Then you throw in this dynamic pop that doesn't get out of hand in uneven snow. You have an excellent board for turning and getting air. I find myself recommending this to East Coast riders a lot. And last on the list is the low-cost favorite, the Yes Pick Your Line. This is best for intermediates on up to experts. And for 2026, this flex is stiffer and now better matches Yes's rating system. It's got a much more tapered directional feel than the specs would lead you to believe, but with a more centered stance than almost any other board on this list. This has really solid grip and pretty good float for being a steep angle POW board, but not really low angle POW. I love that the Pick Your Line can get very turny, but still has a side cut that allows you to go straight. And other than wishing it had a narrower stance width and setback inserts like most Yes boards do, it's hard to find a better board in this price range. And this has been a friend of mine for over a decade now. So there you have it. That's the Freeride favorites list for 2026. And I hope this helps. It's always greatly appreciated if you like and subscribe. Click through our links on YouTube and thegoodride.com and buy something. Also, there's so much more to our reviews on thegoodride.com. So check our filters, our rating systems, comparison tool, and in-depth reviews to get a lot more than you can on YouTube. Also, it's greatly appreciated if you join Patreon for exclusive content and comparisons, early access to reviews, and better advice. And speaking of advice, I love to help, but my time is very limited, so I need at least your boot size, weight, height, make, model, year, size board you ride, as well as a little bit about you, where you ride, how you plan to ride. Otherwise, it's incredibly difficult for me to help you or for you to share your take. And if you want the best advice, contact me directly through the paid advice form. All right, and that's all I have to say. Have a good day.